diys-by-dar, and I have 9 thrift flips. 7 are from Goodwill and 2 are brand new from Hobby Lobby. So let's get into this. Number 1, this was a $3 frame, which I have spray painted already with some matte primer and paint in one from Rust-Oleum. Make sure your glass is always clean, especially on the inside. I am taking and just drawing an outline inside the mat where that picture needs to go on the back of that cardboard piece. So I have picked out some pictures that I like, and I have set them in place. I am going to use some picture tape, which you can get from Amazon, and I have to go really right on the edge of that because these were just about the size for those openings, so it was pretty tight, and I have to make sure I don't see anything showing when that is squared up on there around that photo. It's looking good. I am replacing the mat, and I am going to put the set of pictures back in. Now, the stickers I left on the back because it would have just tore up that back so bad, so I just left them. So there it is. Very cottagecore. I like it. So I'm going to go ahead and get to this number 2 project, these happy little bunnies. And I have a set of papers, scrapbooking papers, pictures that I've purchased, and I hang on to them. And I use them for smaller sized frames when I am going to flip them. Now I have some Hampton Olive and Silk all in one, and I am using this as a paint wash straight out of the jar because this has a top coat in it. So it will wipe off extremely easy, plus it's going to give it some protection. And the last thing I'm going to do once that was dry was add some of this white wax just to give it a little bit of a frosty look. And I really did like that. So that was where I left it. The glass is clean. I am putting my happy little bunnies in there and my back in and give the front a little clean, and there we have it. They are just cute. Number 3 project, $4 from Goodwill. A cage, but it's kind of split in half, so you can hang it on the wall or you can set it down. And I put a piece of cardboard in the bottom because I'm going to put some moss in there and I don't want it to fall out. I'm adding foam. Look at that cute bird's nest. It was in there when I bought it, so I just wired it so it was up at the top. My floral foam is in. I'm ready to put my moss in, and I'm tucking that all down around the sides and on the top. Press it down firmly. Then I am spraying with matte clear. Don't touch it for a good hour because if you do, you will stick it all to your hand. Adding my flowers, some tulips, some daffodils, some ferns, then some tiny little yellow crocuses, and I did have to use my cutters to cut these so I could put them exactly where I wanted to. And I have this little moss ball, which I am going to put in there as well, and that will kind of help give that a little more detail around my crocuses, and then a real big one right up there in the middle, and then some tiny little flowers down in the bottom. And I wished I would have had the perfect bird to set right there in the middle. It would have been perfect. Here we are, the next project, a $4 basket from Goodwill, project number 4. And I guess I paid $4 for it because it had this ceramic handle with the blue wear on it. So I paid $4 for it. I am going to try to make up a wash from Annie Sloan's Ambusin Blue and some Dixie Belle muscadine wine. Anytime you mix blue and red together, you are going to get purple. And this is kind of a bluish purple color. That looks pretty good. I'm going to water this down and see if this is even worth trying to brighten this up, but it looks pretty wore. So this end is not done. This end is done, and you can clearly see the difference. So I went ahead and touched up all of the blue, added this beautiful big bow, and found a group of flowers to put in there. And when I was looking, I found this. $2 for a nest and some fake eggs, and $3 for the wire basket. Why not? So these little flowers are very pretty. They are faux flowers, of course, and I am going to roll that up in a paper so it looks like you're taking your little basket into town to get some baguettes and your flowers. And this was the number 5 project right here, the little nest for your centerpiece for Easter in your table. Now this one was a brand new piece. Piece number 6 is a brand new double-tiered Hobby Lobby piece. 40% off, was around $10. I'm spraying it first with that 2X spray because those pores are open in that wood. It's not been finished. And I have I.O.D transfers, and I want these to stick on there well. And if I have that open porous wood, I'm not sure it's going to stick well. So I gave it a good spray. And with transfers, always rub, rub, rub. And if it picks up, put that paper back down and rub some more. This was going to be a challenge. Now, I love this transfer. It has these little roots coming down off the bottom, but it was in such a weird spot. So I just had to take my time. And then when you get to these areas, like this paper's kind of being a problem, just take your scissors and cut that excess off so you can pull up a little bit easier while you're still working in a tight spot. I'm finally to the edge where I want those roots to go down over the edge. Now, if you need to cut up towards where you're bending it around, that will give you more play in the piece you want to bend. If you do that individually, cut it where you can. Just bend it down and then rub, rub, rub. I use my fingernail a lot. For me, it works the best. That's why I have really long thumb fingernails. And there is the roots going down the side and the front. And I really just love that particular transfer. And all my transfers I'm using are I.O.Ds. Here it is. It's ready to be sealed. I put some scripting on the sides just to add a little bit more interest. And I have some minwax. This minwax, it says that you only need to use 1 coat. It's polycrylic max, but of course I used 2, and I am going to put this on with a sponge that I slightly dampen before I put my polycrylic in it. And yeah, I just did 2 coats because this was a bit hard to seal to keep it off of all that metal. So I went each way just to make sure. And there it is. Here we are, number 7, another Hobby Lobby brand new purchase for $5. I have Paint Couture paint. And it is a chalk paint, and it is very heavy with chalk in it. So that's not a bad thing. You just, it's just different paint. I just put some water in the cap lid, and I just used that and put it on and wiped it back to where I wanted it, just to take some of that yellow down for my happy little tin sign with the birds on it that I applied. Now it's time for my transfers. There they are. Beautiful. I need to put some underneath them birds. It looks a little bit weird. So polycrylic, once again, a different brand. I have a little bit left in this can, so I'm just going to use it up. And I make sure you get all the areas. And I did also I did not go on the tin, just on the wood and on the edges and kind of in between there. So it was sealed. And now I'm finally to my last 2 pieces, 2 frames, $3 a piece. They were in really good shape. And the glass was good. The backings were all good. So this is my number 8 and number 9. That was the biggest problem right there, that sticker. That sticker was the problem. So I have some Anchor silk paint, and I'm using this because it's all in one. It has primer and sealer. It's going to dry nice. I won't have to put anything else on it. My picture I'm using, I have a glue stick, and I am gluing the back, and then I'm affixing it to another heavy piece of paper so I can pop it back in that frame, and it looks like it has a little bit better of a mat going around it. This one had a piece of cardboard just to help it fit in there a bit better, and I'm putting the back in, and this one is getting some gilding wax in silver all along that very, very top highlight, just to give it a little more bling. And they're really cute. The last item, this frame, I am going to take Restore Finish and some 000 steel wool and put some of that Restore Finish on there and just lightly scrub this frame. Now I have a marker in case there'd be big scratches or anything, but there is not in this one. So I'm just going to clean that front with the Restore Finish and let that soak in and then wipe it off. The biggest problem out of both these frames was this right here. I had to get something sharp to get it off the sticker, the Goodwill sticker, and it's pretty sticky. So I'm just wiping the whole back off with a little bit of water, and I'm looking for white areas, and I'm taking a permanent marker, and I am just marking that with the permanent marker. That still needs to dry, and I am ready to put this back together. I'm putting my little rabbits in there and the piece of cardboard to help it fit slightly better, and the backing is going in. This would just be a beautiful, perfect picture if it didn't have that little gaffer in the back towards the bottom. Let's take a look at the whole grouping. There they all are, all 9 of them, and let's just break it down a little bit and just take a few moments to look at them individually. Let's take a look at my booth. All right, here I am, you guys, and I need to do some serious rearranging and take the Christmas stuff out, so I'm gonna let you watch me work here. Thanks for watching. Like and subscribe. I have a lot of people that watch, but they don't subscribe. Why not subscribe? Then that way you'll know when I have a new video up. I'll catch you on the next one.